Welcome to Sportsworld. We're in Bangkok, Thailand, one of 4 nations where football's Asian Cup has kicked off. Coming up, they have the world's largest population. Now the pressure's on Team China to perform. Uniting a nation, the team who have overcome the odds and are now trying to bring some much-needed good news to the people of Iraq. Also this week, we speak exclusively to the Blade Runner, how this double amputee is taking on the world's best. The sporting world is very much focused on China ahead of the Olympic Games in Beijing next year. They have high expectations of staging the greatest games of all time. Their national football team also have big hopes, and so they should, given their massive population. But as Tony Cheng reports, their build-up to this Asian Cup has been far from ideal.
A quiet Saturday afternoon deep in the Chinese countryside. Little has changed here in the past few decades. But hidden away behind the vegetable fields is one of the most heavily supported football teams in the world. This is the training camp for Team China. On a perfectly manicured practice pitch, the squad stretch out their weary legs. The faces may not be as familiar as Ronaldo or Rooney, but inside China, these men are like gods. This lucky fan's wearing the wrong shirt, but he still spent half a day trekking out from Beijing just to catch a glimpse of his team. And it's clear that his allegiance isn't to England. And as the session gets underway, the players start to gather speed. They're working hard, but there's only one goal in sight.
It's hard to predict whether we can win the tournament before the competition even starts, so I don't want to guess what the results are going to be. But personally, I'm very confident about the upcoming matches, and I hope with the hard work we've done, we can get to the final and win.
Everything in Camp China looks calm and organised. The team fit, relaxed, and ready for some horseplay. But behind the laughs and the games, these are players under considerable scrutiny. Only one World Cup qualification in their history and recent embarrassing losses to Thailand and the USA. The media is watching closely. Reports have recently appeared saying that the head coach is out of touch with his team, and if China doesn't perform at the Asia Cup, he must go.
Firstly, I don't think of it as pressure. It's my job to deal with that. I hear a lot of stuff in the media, most of which is new to me. But the goal I've set the team is that we must reach the semi-finals, or better.
But the beautiful game has a firm hold on China. Despite the recent popularity of basketball with several high-profile Chinese players now in the NBA, football is still on top with the fans. That's down to its appeal as a participation sport. And here in Beijing, 5-a-side teams play well into the night. A mixture of South American and European expats taking on local teams. But the players here would rather rely on their own skill when it comes to national footballing pride.
The results are embarrassing, but as I'm Chinese, I have to support the national team, don't I? That's the reality.
It's that sort of response that has led the Chinese national squad to try to raise its standards. Despite having high-profile players who've honed their skills in the European leagues, critics say they're not good enough as a team. And even then, will they be able to live up to the expectations of hundreds of millions of fans? The Chinese national team has one very big problem, and that's the massive number of fans that expect them to succeed. With a weekly diet of Premiership and international football here, Chinese football fans expect no less from their national squad. And frankly, in the last couple of years, they've completely failed to provide. The Asian Cup gives the Chinese national football team one last chance to show the country they've got a national squad to be proud of. But that pressure should be turned into positive energy, says one of the team's biggest stars.
That's the energy we come from, to be honest. First of all, we got a lot of sports from the Pro League. That's the energy. And secondly, you know, the area big tournament, you must have a little bit pressure. I mean, that's very important for you. So we got pressure and energy. We try to get a good game, good result.
But every week you're playing in the Premiership, one of the toughest leagues, but also one of the highest quality leagues in the world. How long do you think it'll be before the Chinese national team gets to that level?
That's a very hard question, to be honest. But we try to close quickly as we can. But you never know exactly what time you can get there. But we just doing the right way now, so that's a good way. Well, hopefully we can reach the high level as soon as we can.
And perhaps some of the bigger stars have their focus on next season for their clubs. Still, that's not surprising when you play for Man United.
I should make the point that I always play with the first team, even if I haven't had many matches. But starting from next season, I'm going to try even harder.
But despite their personal aspirations, Team China knows it can only succeed as a team if it's going to do well in the Asian Cup. Tony Cheng, Al Jazeera, at Team China headquarters in northern China.
When it comes to the Asian Cup, the Socceroos are grabbing all the attention. They're the favourites to win the title. The Australians left the tiny Oceania Confederation for the bright lights of Asia. So Sportsworld went along to find out why they made the move and what they're hoping to achieve.
Coming into Asia has been a huge injection in the sport in Australia, where now you can watch the Asian Champions League, and we've had Sydney FC and Adelaide in that. So it's been a great move for us.
And what do you think Australian football will bring to this confederation?
I think that with the amount of players that we are playing in Europe and the amount of Premier League football or European football that's shown here in Asia, and bringing our players here will add excitement to Asia, because everyone seems to know who Mark Viduka is and Harry Kewell is because they watch them every week. But unless we were here as a nation, they wouldn't get to see them.
I guess it's not necessarily your problem or your concern at the moment, but the Oceania Confederation, would you like to see that whole area redrawn, the boundaries, and perhaps also come into Asia?
Well, I think that's not really for me to say, because every confederation has their own amount of power. I think Asia is such a big place that maybe it's maybe time to look at halving that as well, because we've had already East Asia, and we seem to get, with our draw so far, we're always in the Middle East, and it's such a long way from Australia.
The troubles in Iraq are well documented, but throughout the crisis, their national football team has remained strong. That despite not actually being able to play at home. So Sportsworld's Rahul Pathak went along to meet the team.
We have to compensate in the training.
The language might be different, but the message is the same. This is one group of Iraqis, Shia, Sunni and Kurdish, who are completely united.
Iraq has a tradition in football. They have a name, not now, before. Every time, everybody respects Iraq national teams. To give some rest to the team.
He may be Brazilian, but no one has more belief in this group of players than Jorvan Vieira. Having coached teams in Africa and the Middle East, leading Iraq into the Asian Cup poses a unique set of problems.
It was a very good challenge for me, because it's not easy to work with a national team where the people, they are in war. I think everybody in this world has to do something to finish all these kind of problems. We don't have a guns, I have a balls and whistle. This is my way, to put my players more together, to show to their peoples in Iraq we can live together without any problem.
And it's not all talk. Watching the Iraq team train, you get a real sense of unity and togetherness, but there's no escaping the situation back home. Just a week before this interview, the team's physio was killed in a car bombing in Baghdad.
At
the moment, our country is going through a rough time, so the only thing that's making them happy is sport in general, not just football. So we need to keep a positive attitude and win, to give them something to smile about. Our team is one big family. It's the only family that is united in Iraq, even though we come from different regions and backgrounds.
Another legacy of the war is the large Iraqi diaspora. Jordan, one of many countries that boasts a sizable Iraqi immigrant community. The fortunes of their national side as big a topic for conversation as the ongoing conflict.
Well, it means so much to us because, yeah, you know, we are abroad and we are here. We are anxious only to see any Iraqi. How can you feel when you see your team playing? Okay, but we hope that everything will be okay and we watch this team in our stadium in Baghdad. We are proud if they do well or they don't do well. Yes, because if they do well, it's very good for them because they are different from the other teams. They are playing outside their countries. If they don't do well, also we are with them always.
One of the bright young stars of Iraqi football is the gentleman you can see behind me, Hawar Mullah Mohammed, a Kurdish player in a team dominated by Arabs. Now, not only is he an important member of the Iraqi midfield, his continued success is absolutely vital for the future of the game in his country.
First of all, I'm here to represent my country, Iraq. There is no difference here between Kurds, Sunni and Shiites. I'm proud to be a Kurd and an Iraqi at the same time, and I hope we will serve our country forever. I have been with the national team for over 6 years now. We are like brothers, and I have always been treated the same. We are here to play for the same flag, the Iraqi flag.
And I was watching you training. You have a Kurdish player, you have Arab players, and they're all playing for the one country. They're all playing for the one flag.
Yeah, this is the most beautiful. And as you say, I have a Kurdish, I have many different ethnic group and different religions. No? Well, this is the most beautiful photo for Iraq people, you know. Here we have a family.
Don't forget to check out our website aljazeera.net/English for all the latest on the Asian Cup and the rest of the sports news. Stay with Sportsworld because coming up, we speak to the man they call the Blade Runner as he prepares to make sporting history.